This is part 2 of how EV batteries wreck the environment. Go watch part 1 if you haven't done it yet. And if you have, welcome back. Let's follow. One of the most important ways that EV batteries wreck the environment is the chemicals and minerals which make up the battery itself. Let's take the biggest one, lithium. It's one of the most devastating to acquire. There's 450,000 tons, so multiply that 450,000 by 2,000. The environmental side effects that we usually see with lithium mining: water loss, ground destabilization, salinity in the rivers, biodiversity loss, contaminated soil, toxic waste, and a host of others. Then you have graphite, mostly supplied by China, although Tesla did just purchase a plant in Louisiana and is going to retrofit this in the next few years to make the graphite. We also need 420,000 tons of cobalt, mostly mined in Africa by children. We need manganese up the yin-yang. We need 2.4 million tons of nickel. The metals used in the other parts of the battery include rare metals, which only exist in tiny quantities all over the world. You got to move a lot of earth to access them. In the Jiangxi rare earth mine, for example, workers dig 8-foot holes, pour in ammonium sulfate to dissolve the sandy clay. Then they have to haul it out in mush, douse it in several acid baths, bake the resulting remainder in high heat ovens, kilns really. Finally yields the metals that you need, which account for 0.02% of what was taken from the earth. The rest of the 99.98%, loaded with toxic substances, is loaded back down into the earth. And this process is even more devastating when you got rock crushers that need to refine the more rigid earth. We're talking massive energy, massive CO2 output for the digging, the insertion of chemicals, the high heat, the storage, the transport, more storage, and then the incorporation of all of that into the battery. At each stage of the mining, there are tons of CO2 emissions not even reported by the media. They only focus on the emissions that come from the vehicles themselves. Our use of fossil fuels is only increasing. 80% of all the new electric plants opening worldwide are fossil fuel based: coal, natural gas, oil. Solar and wind account for less than 1% of the electricity used in battery production, even at Tesla. And solar and wind facilities, building those creates incredible environmental damage. They require vast amounts of land and material resources. EV batteries even use so much fossil fuel, they create and require more CO2 emissions than gas-powered cars, even at Tesla. Part 3 coming up.